Chapter 3394, Bam! A violent collision sounded. At the moment when Wang Xian struck, only a few people could see Wang Xian's figure. Among the spectators, there were only a few top-notch experts. With Wang Xian's uncanny speed and the grayish energy surrounding him, he arrived before Fadu in an instant. This time, he used the power of the 5 elements. With the power of the 5 elements and the lightning attribute, even if the other 3 attributes were still suppressed, Wang Xian's strength could still instantly kill a rank 8 universe venerable. It was especially so in terms of speed. Fada couldn't even react in time. Boom! Wang Xian's foot landed on Fada's face and stomped down heavily. Below him, a thunder shield was formed and Fada's head smashed onto the thunder shield. The immense force caused Fada's head to deform. His face was beyond recognition as he spat out a large amount of blood. Instant kill in one move. Boom! At this moment, everyone was dumbfounded as they looked at the sudden scene in horror. In just an instant, many people couldn't see what was going on. The result was this scene. The big senior brother of the Great Thunderclap Academy was killed in a single move. He was trampled in the air without any resistance. This was simply horrifying and unbelievable. How is this possible? All the disciples of the Great Thunderous Academy were shocked to see this scene, and were in disbelief. How could this be possible? Their great senior brother, who had the strength of a rank 8 universe venerable, was defeated in one move? What exactly was the strength of the other party? Let go of our great senior brother. Let go of our great senior brother. A female disciple of the Great Thunderclap Academy roared in shock. Hee, didn't you want me to kneel down and beg for mercy? Didn't you say you wanted to see if I could withstand 2 moves? Why? The great senior brother of the Great Thunderous Academy is such trash? It seems like your force is also a piece of trash. Wang Xian stepped on Fada's face and stomped on it forcefully. His face was filled with ridicule. Provoking him? Fada must be tired of living. Not to mention him. Even the strongest expert of the Great Thunderous Academy would dare to be presumptuous in front of Wang Xian. Once Wang Xian was angered, he could also kill him. Arg! A painful scream rang out from Fadu's mouth. Cold sweat mixed with blood. His face was filled with fear. He was actually insta-killed. He didn't have the slightest ability to resist. What exactly was the strength of this eldest senior brother of the Thunder Light race? Eldest senior brother is so strong. Behind them, all the disciples of the Thunder Light tribe trembled as they watched with wide eyes. They opened their mouths slightly and were also extremely shocked. Wang Xian's strength was too horrifying. They clearly knew that their senior brother was only a level 7 universe venerable a year ago. Now he actually had the power to instantly kill Fadu. Could it be that eldest senior brother hid his strength in the past? They thought to themselves. He's so strong. The experts and disciples of the surrounding forces gasped at the sight of this, their faces filled with shock. Just how powerful was the first senior brother of the Thunder Ray race? He was definitely above a Universe Venerable level 8. Universe Venerable level 9? He would be considered an expert even if he were to be placed in the Primordial Continent. Even in the Thunder Light race and the Great Lane Academy, he would be considered an elder. How could he be a disciple with such strength? Gulp. They swallowed a mouthful of saliva as they looked at Wang Xian with a tinge of respect. Let go of our eldest senior brother. Hurry up and let him go. Is the Thunder Light race trying to start a war with the Great Lane Academy? The disciples of the Great Lane Academy shouted loudly when they heard their eldest senior brother's miserable cries. Hee, don't worry. I can kill trash like him easily. Wang Xian looked at the embarrassed disciples of the Great Lane Academy and smirked in disdain. He stretched out his leg and kicked him heavily, sending him flying in front of them. Eldest senior brother. The disciples of the Great Lane Academy quickly helped Fadu up. They were extremely embarrassed. Compared to before, the disciples of the Thunder Light race were even more embarrassed. There was a tinge of fear in their eyes as they looked at Wang Xian. The auction is about to start. Let's go. Wang Xian looked around and smiled faintly as he spoke to the disciples of the Thunder Light race behind him. It's eldest senior brother. Eldest senior brother, you are simply too amazing. Haha, eldest senior brother is so strong. He easily defeated a bunch of trash from the Great Lane Academy. The disciples of the Thunder Light Race reacted and cheered excitedly. Exhilaration! Exhilaration! The grievances they felt previously vanished with Wang Xian's attack. Eldest senior brother versus eldest senior brother. Their eldest senior brother Wang Xian crushed the other party with ease. Who is trash? Who is trash? How dare you clamor in front of us? The disciples laughed heartily as they looked at the disciples of the Great Lane Academy with contempt. The reversal of two extremities was nothing more than this. Scram! Wang Xian and the rest flew forward and shouted at the disciples of the Great Lane Academy who were blocking their way. When the disciples of the Great Lane Academy heard this, their expressions changed drastically. They immediately opened up a path with grievances. Ha ha ha, great! This generation of disciples of the Great Lane Academy is really trash. They can't even take a blow from the disciples of the Thunder Light Race. At this moment, hundreds of figures were floating in the sky above the floating Thunder Island. The second Supreme Elder and the Great Elder of the Thunder Light Race were laughing heartily. They had clearly seen what had happened to the group of disciples just now. Tisk Leishanqing, don't be too arrogant. That might not be a disciple of the Thunder Light Race. A few bald old men and women were floating in the air with gloomy expressions as they spoke coldly. Haha, you don't have to worry about whether he's a disciple of the Thunder Light Race. All you need to know is that he's on our side and he can bully you. The second Supreme Elder of the Thunder Light Race laughed heartily. When Lei Yuntian was defeated, their expressions were the same as those of the Great Lane Academy. Fortunately, Wang Xian had appeared in time. Although they were equally shocked by Wang Xian's strength, they didn't have the time to question him. Anyway, it felt great. It was enough that Wang Xian dared to attack and offend the Great Lane Academy. Tisk! The group of experts from the Great Lane Academy turned around and left with gloomy expressions as they flew towards the auction hall. They were filled with ice-cold murderous intent. Soon, they won't be able to laugh anymore. The vice president of the Great Lane Academy, who was leading the group, transmitted his voice to them. The eyes of the group of experts from the Great Lane Academy flickered with murderous intent. Hee, congratulations to the Thunder Light Race for recruiting such an outstanding disciple. Behind them, the group of experts from the Jui Fire Race and some other cities congratulated the second Supreme Elder of the Thunder Light Race and the rest. Haha, you're too kind. Everyone, let's head down. The auction is about to begin. The second Supreme Elder and the rest laughed heartily in response. They were in a great mood. Chapter 3395. Swish, swish, swish. Eldest senior brother, please take a seat. Wang Xian and the disciples of the Lightning Race flew over before the auction on the floating Thunder Island. When they saw the second Supreme Elder of the Lightning Race, they immediately sat at the back. The group of disciples made Wang Xian sit respectfully in front of them. Hee, Wang Xian, well done. In front, the second Supreme Elder, Big Elder, and the rest looked over and nodded at him with smiles. Wang Xian smiled and nodded back at them. The eyes of the second Supreme Elder and the rest flickered as they thought about it. They felt that they could no longer see through this disciple, who had joined the Lightning Race. He already possessed such terrifying strength at such a young age. His future was limitless. That's the new eldest senior brother of the Lightning Race, a purebred Lei Long? He must have encountered a great opportunity to possess such terrifying strength at such a young age. He's too strong. Has his strength reached rank 9 universe supremacy? The experts and disciples of the surrounding forces also focused their attention on Wang Xian, and the rest when they saw him flying over. Everyone had received news of the conflict between the Lightning Race and the Great Thunderclap Academy. Many experts had witnessed this scene. They sized up Wang Xian from a close distance with eyes filled with astonishment. His strength and talent had shocked them. Tiske. The experts and disciples of the Great Thunderclap Academy cast a sinister glance at Wang Xian and snorted. Hee, welcome to the auction in our Divine Thunder City. Thank you for your support. The auction will begin soon. Before long, the auction officially began. Wang Xian sat at the bottom and watched quietly. The auction in the Divine Thunder City was relatively grand for the various forces, and there were quite a number of treasures up for grabs. But to Wang Xian it wasn't attractive. Throughout the entire auction, there weren't any treasures that could attract him. This made him a little disappointed. The auction in the Divine Thunder City was still a little low level for experts of Wang Xian's level. The auction lasted for more than 10 hours and all the items were auctioned off. Wang Xian collected the resources he had obtained from the auctions and didn't stay in the Divine Thunder City any longer. Eldest senior brother, what are you going to do next? Lei Jingyun, Lei Yunzi, and the rest asked as they followed the group of female disciples back to the lightning race. I'm going out for a while. I'll be back in a few months, said Wang Xian to them. Where is eldest senior brother going? The female disciples asked curiously. Let's go to Nine Sun City. Wang Xian did not hide anything and answered directly. Nine Sun City. Eldest senior brother, you're going to Nine Sun City? It's very far away. Lei Yunzi and the others said in surprise. Well, there's something I need to do. Wang Xian nodded his head. All right then, we won't bother you any further, eldest senior brother. The girls nodded in agreement. All right, I'll head over now and come back as soon as possible. As Wang Xian spoke, he waved at them and left through the teleportation formation. Eldest senior brother, be careful. The group of female disciples spoke up. Where's your eldest senior brother? Not long after Wang Xian left, the great elder appeared on the peak where the disciples lived. Not sensing Wang Xian, he happened to see a group of female disciples and asked. First elder, eldest senior brother has just left for Nine Sun City. He will be back in a few months. The female disciples immediately replied. Oh, Nine Sun City. The great elder raised an eyebrow, nodded his head, and left. Clan leader, supreme elder, disciple Wang Xian has just left for Nine Sun City. He will be back in a few months. The great elder came to the main hall of the Thunder Light tribe and reported to the clan leader and the few supreme elders. Oh, let's wait for him to come back then. I wonder if his strength has reached the level 9 universe venerable level. The clan leader and supreme elders had wanted to meet Wang Xian. Now that he had left, they could only wait for him to come back. In terms of combat strength, he is 100% on par with a level 9 universe venerable. It seems like the fire spirit ball has improved him significantly, the second supreme elder said. He must have hidden some secrets in the past. Otherwise, he wouldn't have improved so quickly. One of the supreme elders guessed. The clan leader nodded his head in agreement. Greetings, clan leader. We discovered signs of the birth of a treasure in the eastern part of the Thundercloud domain. The energy is terrifying. It's definitely a powerful treasure. Just at this moment, a figure suddenly flew over in a panic and reported loudly. Ha! The eyes of the Thunderlight tribe leader and the rest lit up. I should be able to sell the innate spiritual treasure in the Nine Sun City. At this moment, Wang Xian flew out of a city, looked at the map, and flew off into the distance. The Nine Sun City was the nearest big city that Wang Xian had found in the past few days. The so-called big city that he mentioned was a city that could digest innate spiritual treasures. The Nine Sun City was a city at the border of the Divine Tiger tribe. The Divine Tiger tribe was one of the top races in the universe. Tigers were probably just a famous animal on Earth. However, in the universe, the Divine Tiger tribe was indeed very powerful. There were many types of Divine Tiger tribe. Generally speaking, they could be divided into two royal tribes. One royal tribe specialized in combat, while the other specialized in speed. None of the top races were weaklings. Their terror would definitely suffocate other races. The Nine Sun City was just a city at the border of the Divine Tiger tribe. It covered a huge area, and one could occasionally encounter experts from the Divine Tiger tribe. Moreover, the city lord of the Nine Sun City was an expert at the pinnacle of the universe venerable realm. It was rumored that he had committed a crime and was expelled from the Divine Tiger tribe. This also meant that he had the fighting strength of a rank 3 universe lord. Because of the presence of experts, the Nine Sun City flourished quickly and formed a large trading market. Around the Nine Sun City, there were a few forces that had the fighting strength of a universe lord. As a result, innate spiritual treasures would occasionally appear in this large city. Therefore, it shouldn't be a problem to sell innate spiritual treasures. Moreover, There was another reason why Wang Xian chose the Nine Sun City. Within the Divine Tiger tribe, the royal tribe that specialized in speed had wind and lightning attributes as their main attributes. Wang Xian's innate thunder bell was extremely useful for experts with lightning attributes. He was trying to attract some experts from the Divine Tiger tribe over. If that was the case, he could sell it for a good price. As Wang Xian pondered, he flew at top speed. Now he needed to head to another city for the teleportation. Within the Heaven Creation chaotic land, the teleportation arrays were not interconnected. Chapter 3396. I should be able to reach there in 2 months. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he looked at the route. Nine Sun City wasn't too far from the Thundercloud territory. 2 months wasn't a long time, including flying and teleportation. However, Wang Xian's round trip would take about half a year. Wang Xian flew at high speed in the sky. There was no need for him to conceal his strength outside. Moreover, he had displayed some formidable strength at the Divine Thunder City. The Thunderlight race should be guessing his exact strength now. If I can successfully sell the innate spiritual treasure this time, I will have the fighting strength of a First-Order Universe Lord. Wang Xian mumbled to himself with a smile on his face. The flying journey was a little boring. He didn't waste any time and rushed at full speed. I'm almost there. 2 months later, Wang Xian arrived at the teleportation formation of a city and stepped into it. Through the teleportation formation, he would arrive at Nine Sun City. Wang. The scene in front of Wang Xian changed drastically as the scene in front of him changed drastically. In a huge stone plaza, warm sunlight shone down, making the entire space brighter than other areas. He squinted his eyes and looked into the sky. 9 scarlet suns were suspended in the air in a row, emitting a warm glow. Every scarlet sun was huge. These 9 scarlet suns each represented a grotto heaven and blessed land. The origin of Nine Sun City also came from these 9 scarlet suns. The entire Nine Sun City was slightly huge, like a city of giants. Any random building was tens of thousands of meters tall. Standing here, they seemed insignificant. Wang Xian could see huge giants in front of him. The mountain giants seemed to be a rather strong race in this area. Wang Xian mumbled to himself. The mountain giants were much stronger than the Thunderlight race. His figure moved and flew forward. Soon he arrived at a trading market. The trading market was something Wang Xian had found on the Universe AI in advance. This was the only trading market in Nine Sun City. All sorts of treasures, elixir pills, war pets, and other items were on sale. From the lowest level of open-air stalls to large-scale shops. Rent a stall. Stalls could be rented. There were at least a few million stalls in the entire area. There were tens of millions of people in the entire area. In this kind of stall, if one was lucky enough to encounter a treasure, then one would make a profit. Of course, the probability of this happening was very slim. To be able to cultivate to such a level, one had to have good eyesight. Wang Xian came to a room that managed the stalls and rented a stall. That's right. Wang Xian was going to set up a stall to sell them. He was not familiar with the Nine Sun City. There were 2 ways to sell a primordial spiritual treasure. One was to sell it himself, and the other was to bid for it in an auction house. Selling it himself was very simple. Set up a stall. However, there was usually nothing good on the stalls. In fact, Wang Xian was more inclined to auction them in the auction house. However, there were no auctions in the Nine Sun City recently. He didn't want to wait here for too long, so he set up a stall to sell them. Yes, sir. This is your booth number. The staff gave him a number plate. He looked at it and walked toward the table. He came to the stall and placed the number plate there. The stall shrouded in energy was opened. Wang Xian entered and took out the innate thunder bell. With a wave of his finger, Wang Xian wrote a few words in front of him. As long as the price was right, he would sell connate spiritual treasures. After he finished writing, he sat cross-legged and waited quietly. What the fuck? However, when Wang Xian took out the connate spiritual treasure, it immediately attracted the attention of a stall owner at the side. He widened his eyes and stared at the innate thunder bell in disbelief. What the fuck? Innate spiritual treasure? How dare he set up a stall to sell innate spiritual treasures? After confirming it, he exclaimed in a low voice with a shocked look. Wang Xian took a glance at the middle-aged man at the side and smiled faintly. He sat there and waited quietly. What a powerful force. What treasure is this? SSS, this pressure is definitely from a powerful treasure. It can't be, right? Is an expert taking out a weapon? Or is someone selling a powerful treasure? What a strong wave of lightning. The location of an innate spiritual treasure could change the weather and change the color of the sky. Wang Xian took out the innate thunder bell, and waves of powerful lightning energy spread to the surroundings. This aura immediately attracted the attention of the surrounding people. All of them immediately looked over, their faces filled with shock. Innate spiritual treasure. Selling it at a suitable price? Oh my, he's selling innate spiritual treasures. This SSS, setting up a stall to sell innate spiritual treasures. What the? Isn't this too crazy? Soon, a large crowd gathered in front of Wang Xian's stall. All of them widened their eyes and were dumbfounded. Even a pinnacle universe venerable powerhouse would find it hard to own a connate spiritual treasure. Only the leader of a race or the pillar of support could own one. Such a treasure was the weapon of a universe ruler-level expert. Within the Nine Sun City, such treasures would only appear in auctions. Moreover, not every auction would have innate spiritual treasures. Yet someone was setting up a stall to sell this. This was too crazy. More and more people gathered around. All sorts of discussions were getting louder. Within a few minutes, the surroundings were blocked. Moreover, more and more people rushed over and looked over in shock. Wang Xian sat there quietly without the slightest reaction. He wasn't afraid that someone would snatch this innate spiritual treasure. Within the Nine Sun City, there were experts guarding it. No one would dare to rob it openly. Moreover, with Wang Xian's current strength, he wouldn't be afraid unless it was an expert with the combat strength of a universe ruler-level expert. A lightning attribute innate spiritual treasure. We have many lightning attribute experts here, especially those from the Divine Tiger clan. As time passed, the news of someone setting up a stall to sell innate spiritual treasures spread across the entire Nine Sun City. Some experts rushed over upon hearing the news. Their eyes flickered as they felt the power of this innate spiritual treasure. The disciples of some forces also passed the news to the experts of their own clans. 5 days passed quickly. Within these 5 days, the area around Wang Xian's stall was always crowded. However, no one came to ask about it. This was because everyone knew that an innate spiritual treasure wasn't something that an ordinary expert could purchase. Even a pinnacle supremacy expert of the universe couldn't afford an innate spiritual treasure. Roar, roar. On the 6th day, deep roars were heard. Ha! The experts and disciples around Wang Xian's stall were slightly shocked when they heard the roars. It's an expert from the Divine Tiger clan. Chapter 3397. An expert from the Divine Tiger clan has attracted an expert from the Divine Tiger clan. SSS, the allure of a connate spiritual treasure is really great. Even an expert from the Divine Tiger clan is attracted. It's a connate spiritual treasure after all. It would be a treasure even in the pinnacle races. When the experts of the Divine Tiger clan arrived, everyone in the surroundings immediately looked over. Their eyes were filled with respect. The Divine Tiger clan was the pinnacle of existence in the universe. Wang Xian heard the voices around him and looked over. His eyes sparkled. Within his line of sight, a dozen figures in the form of divine tigers flew over. Their bodies flickered with lightning. They weren't burly, but rather slender. They looked more like large cats. On their foreheads, there was a Wang character. Their fur was long and they looked like cute and beautiful pets. But no one in the universe could underestimate them. A speed-type divine tiger. He was an absolute royal existence. Universe rank 8 supremacy combat power. Universe rank 9 supremacy combat power. Wang Xian thought to himself as he looked at the dozen of them. He was slightly disappointed. No experts from the Divine Tiger clan came over. Boom. A dozen divine tigers flew over and transformed into human forms. The group of experts in front of the stall immediately made way for him. There were men and women among the dozen divine tigers, and they were all middle-aged. Even among the pinnacle races, Those who could reach universe rank 8 or rank 9 supremacy combat power wouldn't be young. The strength and potential that Wang Xian had displayed in the Thunderbolt race would be considered the pinnacle even among the pinnacle races. It would be good for a race to have one or two of them. It's really a Khanate spiritual treasure. A dozen experts from the Divine Tiger clan arrived. Their eyes fell on the Khanate Thunder Bell with a tinge of passion. They were also extremely envious of such a treasure. How many divine stones does this Khanate spiritual treasure cost? A middle-aged man from the Divine Tiger clan asked. This is an offensive Khanate spiritual treasure. It's the price of an ordinary Khanate spiritual treasure. Wang Xian answered plainly when he heard them asking about the price. Wang Xian had already understood the price of Khanate spiritual treasures. He wasn't asking for a high price this time. He only wanted to sell it at the price of an ordinary Khanate spiritual treasure. This price was sufficient for him to achieve a breakthrough in his strength. Brother Yin, we can't afford it even if we pool our money together. Upon hearing Wang Xian, a middle-aged man from the Divine Tiger clan shook his head. The middle-aged man called Brother Yin frowned slightly. Stall owner, you should be a Thunder Attribute cultivator, right? I can invite you to enter Roaring Tiger Cliff to cultivate for 10,000 years. Can you sell this Khanate numinous treasure at a low price? The middle-aged man from the Divine Tiger clan asked. Roaring Tiger Cliff? A cultivation treasure land of the Divine Tiger clan. This is a cultivation paradise for the members of the Divine Tiger clan. His 10,000 years of training time at the Roaring Tiger Cliff? When the surrounding experts and disciples heard the words of the middle-aged man from the Divine Tiger clan, they were slightly shocked. No, I only want to exchange for resources. Wang Xian shook his head and released his aura slightly. Buzz. Sensing the sudden burst of power from Wang Xian, the people from the Divine Tiger tribe were taken aback. Their faces were filled with astonishment. A pinnacle universe supremacy. The surrounding experts also sensed it instantly, and their hearts trembled. Universe venerable pinnacle powerhouses. With such strength, even among the high-level races of the universe, they would be the pillars of existence. No wonder he could obtain a Khanate numinous treasure. In that case, forget it. The middle-aged man from the Divine Tiger clan shook his head in disappointment. He looked to his companions and said, I can't afford it. Let's spread the news to some elders and those with resources. Let's see if they will buy it. The experts from the Divine Tiger clan nodded their heads. The dozen members of the Divine Tiger clan did not stay for long. After a brief look, they left. Seeing them leaving, Wang Xian let his guard down a little. He was really afraid that the experts from the Divine Tiger clan would force him to buy it. If that was the case, he would have to change to another place. Time passed day by day. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. Wang Xian was not in a hurry. He sat there quietly and waited. By now, the news of him setting up a stall to sell Khanate numinous treasures had basically reached the ears of the experts from the various forces. From the conversations of the experts from the surrounding races and forces, he also knew that some experts were coming over. Swish. At this time, Wang Xian sensed a figure with a strong aura flying over. He squinted his eyes and lifted his head to look ahead. An old man with a purple body and a pair of purple antennae landed in front of him. Wang Xian could feel a heart-palpitating energy from the old man's body. Stronger than him. The old man took a look at Wang Xian before his eyes fell on the Khanate Thunder Bell. He did not hide his excitement at all. I want this Khanate numinous treasure, the old man said. I'll sell it if the price is moderate. Wang Xian said plainly. All right. The old man nodded his head. With a flick of his palm, a space ring appeared in his hand. I want this Khanate numinous treasure too. Right at this moment, a sudden voice sounded out, and it caused the old man to be slightly stunned. Some of the surrounding disciples were looking at the old man in astonishment. This sudden voice also made them extremely astonished. Ring, ring, ring. The sound of footsteps was heard along with the ringing of the bell. Wang Xian looked over and was taken aback. His eyes fell on the figure. It was a girl barefoot with a bell tied to her foot. She made a sound as she walked. There was a purple word, Wang, on the girl's forehead. Her purple pupils had a pair of eye-catching canine teeth. There were 3 purple stripes on her face, and she looked like a character from an anime. Behind the girl, there were a dozen young and middle-aged men and 2 old men. This girl is. The surrounding crowd looked at the girl with shock in their eyes and their expressions changed slightly. The word Wang on her forehead should be a disciple of the Divine Tiger Clan. Wang Xian looked at the girl, and his eyes fell on the bell on her ankle again. This was a connate numinous treasure. Although it did not release its aura, he could sense it. When the purple-skinned old man saw the girl and the group, his expression changed slightly. "Miss, let's go to the highest bidder then," he said to the girl. "Aha, no problem. This connate numinous treasure belongs to whoever offers the highest price. You can name your highest price first. I'll be higher than you anyway." The girl looked at the old man and giggled. The old man was taken aback. He pursed his lips and shook his head. He took out another 3 acquired cardinal treasures and passed the space ring to the girl. "These treasures and the 3 acquired cardinal treasures in my hands. This is my highest price. If you can bid higher than me, this connate numinous treasure will belong to you." Chapter 3398, Hehe. The girl checked the space ring handed over by the old man and smiled. "My offer is higher than yours." As she spoke, she looked at Wang Xian. 10 first-order universe Lord-level fruits, 1 second-order universe Lord-level fruit, 5 acquired cardinal treasures, and 1 unit of warm thunder liquid. How about that? The girl took out items from her spatial ring and had them float in front of her as she spoke with a smile. "Oh my god, these resources are too terrifying. Warm thunder liquid is a treasure unique to the Divine Tiger Clan. That girl must have a high status in the clan." When the crowd heard what the girl said, their faces lit up. These treasures were all cardinal treasures to them. The purple-skinned old man shook his head helplessly. He waved his arm and kept his space ring. The difference was huge. "Sure." Wang Xian's eyes lit up when he saw the treasures. He agreed immediately. The girl had used such a high-level fruit to trade. He could consume it directly without wasting time. The resources she offered were definitely worth a connate spiritual treasure, especially the warm thunder liquid, which was very valuable. Hehe, great. I like such connate spiritual treasures. The girl waved her arm and threw the treasures to Wang Xian excitedly. She walked to the connate thunder bell and picked it up. Wang Xian checked the treasures and kept them with satisfaction. He stood up and left. The girl looked at the connate thunder bell in her hand. Clearly she liked it a lot. This girl must have a high status. Wang Xian thought to himself as he looked at the experts from the Divine Tiger Clan behind her. "I have another treasure here. I wonder if you want it?" He hesitated for a moment before asking the girl. There's another treasure? Connate spiritual treasure? Let me see." The girl was taken aback as she lifted her head to look at Wang Xian. "It's not a connate spiritual treasure, but it's still a connate spiritual treasure," Wang Xian said. He waved his arm and a purple lightning snake appeared at the side. SSS. Its huge body and the connate spiritual treasure above its head released a strong pressure. Wang Xian waved his arm to stop the pressure from spreading. A pinnacle universe supremacy war pet with incarnate spiritual treasure above its head. "Do you want it?" He continued to ask. Although the purple thunder snake was strong, it would no longer be of any use to Wang Xian after this breakthrough. Now that he had met a rich woman, he naturally had to ask her. It would be best if she could sell her. If a peak-level universe venerable battle pet were to be sold, it would fetch a terrifying amount of resources. A battle pet at the peak of the venerable realm. And it even has a connate numinous treasure on its head. This is too awesome. That young man actually has so many treasures? Why haven't I heard of this person before? Peak universe venerable realm war pet. Amazing. How great would it be if I had one? Shocked voices came from all around, and all the onlookers widened their eyes. Setting up a stall to sell Xiantian treasures was already outrageous enough, but now, he was even selling a pinnacle supremacy battle pet with a Xiantian treasure. Didn't this expert have too many treasures? So ugly. The girl stared at the purple lightning snake and shook her head. Upon hearing this, Wang Xian was speechless. Sir, are you selling that connate numinous treasure separately? The purple-skinned old man asked. Not separately. Wang Xian shook his head and looked at the girl again. It's too ugly, I don't want it. The girl shook her head. Alright then. Wang Xian had no choice but to keep the purple lightning snake with a wave of his arm. He cupped his hands and flew out. I'll go back and improve my strength before coming back again to sell the purple lightning snake. Light attribute or 5 elements attribute treasure. Wang Xian thought to himself as he flew towards the teleportation formation. He needed to upgrade the Tai Chi Dragon Plate for light attribute treasure. Currently, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate could only withstand the attacks of a level 9 Universe Venerable, and could no longer keep up with his speed of improvement. In addition, the 5 elements grindstone could no longer keep up with his improvement. Wang Xian was very satisfied with this trip. With the connate Thunder Bell, he had enough resources to upgrade himself. I'll return to the Thunder Light Race first, and improve my strength before making plans for the future. With a smile on his face, he quickly teleported through the various teleportation formations. After teleporting over 100 times, Wang Xian began flying above the interior of the chaotic continent. The journey was long and this round trip would take about 5 months. Big Senior Brother, a powerful treasure appeared in the Thundercloud territory. The experts from the Thunder Light Race went to fight for it. Our second Supreme Elder was ambushed by the experts from the Great Lane Academy and Divine Thunder City and died. Big Senior Brother, the Thunder Light Race has declared war on the Great Lane Academy and Divine Thunder City. Big Senior Brother, we have declared war on the Great Lane Academy and Divine Thunder City to avenge our second Supreme Elder. Big Senior Brother, we have no idea why the Divine Thunder City has joined forces with the Great Lane Academy and some other cities. They want to deal with us. Just as Wang Xian was 2 days away from the Thunder Light Race, his universe AI suddenly sent him urgent messages. There were dozens of messages, all from the disciples of the Thunder Light Race. Wang Xian was slightly taken aback as he read the messages. His face was filled with shock. The Thunder Light Race has declared war on the Great Lane Academy and Divine Thunder City. The second Supreme Elder is dead? His expression changed slightly as he frowned. The second Supreme Elder was a Pinnacle Universe Venerable expert, and yet he was dead. The death of a Pinnacle Universe Venerable expert was rare even in the billions of years of war between the Thunder Light Race and the Great Lane Academy. The Divine Thunder City is involved, and so are the other cities? Was it premeditated, or was there another reason? Fighting for the treasure? Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he continued to fly at high speed. The war between the Thunder Light Race and the Great Lane Academy would usually last for a long time. Moreover, the Thunder Light Race would not be able to annihilate them based on their foundation and blessed lands. Therefore, Wang Xian was not too anxious. Great Lane Academy and Divine Thunder City, you are courting death. Wang Xian's eyes flickered coldly. No matter what, Wang Xian would definitely participate in the war between the Thunder Light Race and the Great Lane Academy. To him, this was a good opportunity to return the favor. In that case, I'll do my best to help the Thunder Light Race. He made up his mind. From now on, there was no longer a need to conceal his strength and identity. Chapter 3399. Teleportation. After flying for 2 months, Wang Xian arrived at the teleportation formation of a city, and immediately went through the teleportation. In the next moment, he arrived at a city in the Thundercloud domain. Clay City was the name of this city. The city lord of Clay City was also one of the famous experts in the Thundercloud domain. With the combat strength of a Pinnacle Universe Venerable, he had a large number of subordinates. Among the dozens of cities in the Thundercloud domain, he was considered one of the top. Teleport to the Lightning Race. Without any hesitation, Wang Xian flew to the other teleportation formation and spoke to the staff at the side. Huh, you want to teleport to the Lightning Race? The staff member was taken aback. He took 2 steps back and asked Wang Xian with flickering eyes. Yes, time is of the essence. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and nodded his head in response. It had been a few days since the war broke out in the Lightning Race. Wang Xian had to rush over immediately. Who are you from the lightning race? The staff member looked at Wang Xian and moved his palm. A red ball appeared as he asked Wang Xian. Is Clay City involved in this too? Wang Xian looked at the staff member and asked plainly as he swept his gaze across the surroundings. The surroundings of the teleportation formation were cold, and the atmosphere was a little tense. Clearly, something special had happened. Coupled with some information he had received, he had a guess. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, several figures flew over rapidly. There were over 100 of them, led by a young man and an old man. Ha! This is... When the 100 of them flew over and saw Wang Xian, they were taken aback. The big senior brother from the lightning race? The eyes of the young man in the lead shone as he licked his lips uncontrollably. Oh, it's really him? The old man fixed his gaze on Wang Xian and revealed a smile. It's the big senior brother from the lightning race, the young city lord. He's a purebred divine dragon. A purebred divine dragon with the pinnacle bloodline of the universe. Moreover, he's a lightning dragon. Young city lord if we can. The eyes of the experts and disciples from Clay City lit up instantly. Activate the formation. The young city lord's eyes revealed a look of excitement as he growled. Buzz, buzz, buzz. As soon as his voice fell, an array formation enveloped the surroundings, instantly wrapping everyone within it. This formation could prevent people from escaping back to their divine kingdom in an instant. Upon seeing this, Wang Xian was slightly taken aback, following which he smiled. Looks like your Clyde City is in cahoots with the Great Thunder Academy, said Wang Xian plainly. Ha ha ha. It is your lightning race that is courting death, occupying such a good place, yet not knowing how to share some with us. You will have to pay the price for monopolizing it. This time, your lightning race will pay an incomparably bitter price. Upon hearing Wang Xian's words, the young city lord of Clyde City laughed heartily. Haha, a purebred lightning dragon. Every part of a divine dragon is a treasure trove. He continued speaking, his eyes blazing with killing intent. The entire body of a purebred divine dragon was a treasure, especially the lightning dragon. If he killed it, he would be able to obtain something that could greatly improve his strength. Oh, with just you? You still want to kill me? Wang Xian swept his gaze across the few hundred of them with a cold gaze. Eldest senior brother of the Thunder Ray race, you are indeed very strong. However, you will die today. The old man beside the young city lord of Clyde City revealed a mocking expression. As he spoke, he slowly moved to the side to make space. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Ha ha ha. Who would have thought that the eldest senior brother of the Thunder Ray race would come to his death uninvited, just as we were about to set off? In that case, we can only accept his insignificant life. Suddenly, loud laughter reverberated as a figure gradually appeared beside the old man. The figure held onto the thunder tower and sat on a thunder throne. He was burly and mighty. A majestic aura surged from his body. The moment he appeared, a large number of figures appeared around the array formation that enveloped Wang Xian and the rest. They were in a military formation and exuded a murderous aura. The million-strong army stared coldly at them. The group of experts from Clyde City, who were leading the army, had mocking looks on their faces. They had not expected the eldest senior brother of the Thunder Ray race to walk right into their trap, just as they were about to set off with the city lord. Within Clyde City, many people had seen the eldest senior brother of the Thunder Ray race and were amazed by his strength. However, they were more interested in the body of a purebred divine dragon. The corpse of an elite race was priceless. Greetings, City Lord. Father. When the young City Lord of Clyde City and the others saw the figure on the throne, they smiled and bowed. Hee. The City Lord of Clay City chuckled. The corner of his lips curved into a smile as he looked at Wang Xian. Your potential is limitless. It's a pity that you made the mistake of joining the lightning race, he said faintly. Hee. Isn't Clyde City afraid of the lightning race's revenge in the future? When Wang Xian heard him, he smiled faintly and asked, Let's wait for the lightning race to overcome this crisis first. The City Lord of Clay City said calmly as he slowly raised the Thunder Tower in his hand. All geniuses are weaklings before they grow up. You won't lose out if you die at my hands. Buzz. As he spoke, the lightning tower in his hand slowly rose, releasing a terrifying aura. Haha, what a pity. The eldest senior brother of the Thunder Ray race was killed by my Lord Father with a single strike. The young city lord of Clyde City watched this scene with a smile on his face. Very well, I declare the destruction of Clyde City. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with murderous intent as the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. Presumptuous. You can't even escape from my Clyde City, the city lord of Clay City said coldly. With a wave of his arm, the Thunder Tower pressed down on Wang Xian. He had seen Wang Xian in action and knew his strength. At most, he could fight a level 9 universe venerable. When such an expert was trapped, he could kill him with a single strike. Haha. When Wang Xian saw the Thunder Tower attacking him, he burst into laughter. With a wave of the 5 elements grindstone, he attacked the Thunder Tower. SSSSSSSS. At the same time, a humongous figure gradually appeared below him. Purple Thunder Snake, his hideous body appeared in front of everyone. The inborn spiritual treasure Thunder Horn shone behind Wang Xian. Wang Xian stood on the head of the Purple Thunder Snake and smirked. Kill them all. Leave no one alive, he ordered coldly. The Purple Thunder Snake roared and charged forward without hesitation. Chapter 3400. Roar, roar, roar. The Purple Lightning Snake roared and charged towards the city lord of Clay City, and the rest at a terrifying speed. Above them, the 5 elements grind and the Thunder Tower were about to collide. At this moment, the city lord of Clay City and the rest were a little dumbfounded. Sensing the horrifying aura of the Purple Lightning Snake, they were horrified and had a tinge of fear in their eyes. It was especially so for the young city lord of Clay City and the rest, whose eyes were filled with terror. What's going on? What kind of battle pet is that? The young city lord of Clay City screamed in horror. Shit. The city lord of Clay City was also horrified. Bam. Above them, the Thunder Tower collided with the 5 elements grind. The Thunder Tower was sent flying backward. A crack appeared on the Thunder Tower. It couldn't even withstand a single blow. Shit shit shit. The city lord of Clay City was horrified. His acquired treasure was damaged, and he was also suffering from a slight backlash. How dare a puny Clay City try to kill me? Wang Xian stared coldly at the group of them. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. The complete unbeginning sacred wings appeared behind him. At this moment, he didn't bother to hide and attacked the city lord of Clay City. Boom. Wang Xian arrived before the city lord of Clay City at a terrifying speed. His arm turned into a dragon claw and clawed at him. When the city lord of Clay City saw Wang Xian, his eyes narrowed and he was horrified. Arg! He screamed and tried to dodge to the back. Bam! However, Wang Xian had caught the city lord by surprise and he wasn't prepared. There was no way he could dodge Wang Xian's speed. As the dragon claw clawed at him, he emitted a strong force of lightning to resist. Ka. However, the force of lightning crumbled under the dragon claw and landed on his body. Dragon Eyes Lock. The moment Wang Xian grabbed the city lord of Clay City, the dragon eyes scanned the surroundings and the trapping formation that shrouded the area collapsed. Chains spread out in all directions, shrouding the sky above Clyde City. The millions of experts from the Clay City army were all shrouded. What's going on? At this moment, all the powerhouses of Clay City watched this scene in horror, their eyes filled with terror. City Lord, No. How could this be? How could the Lightning Race's first senior brother possess such frightening strength? This. At this moment, all the disciples of Clay City were on the verge of collapsing. Their city lord had been prepared to kill the eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight tribe, but he had not expected the other party to unleash such terrifying power. This strength was enough to capture their city lord in an instant. Who could believe this? You want to kill me with such strength? With the strength of your Clyde City, you still dare to attack the Lightning Race. You're really courting your own destruction. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared coldly at the city lord of Clay City. Cough. How could this be? How could this be? How could you possess such powerful strength? The city lord of Clay City coughed out a large amount of blood. His body trembled as he stared at Wang Xian and roared in disbelief. "There are many things that you can't imagine," said Wang Xian coldly. His eyes fell on the purple thunder snake and he ordered, "Annihilate Clay City. Kill everyone." The purple thunder snake growled, and the connate spiritual treasure on its head began to emit lightning that shrouded the surroundings. Crackle! In an instant, the terrifying power of lightning struck the surroundings. "Oh no! Run! Run! The surrounding space has been sealed. We can't escape to our holy kingdom in an instant." That purple thunder snake is a pinnacle universe venerable. The thunder horn on its head is a connate spiritual treasure. Horrified roars reverberated through the air. The millions of disciples of the Clay City army screamed in horror when they saw the purple thunder snake attacking them. Clay City wasn't weak. Other than the pinnacle universe venerable city lord, there were more than a dozen universe venerable level 9 experts. Naturally, they could sense the strength of the purple thunder snake and the connate spiritual treasure. It was also because they could sense it that they were in despair. What made them even more desperate was that the eldest senior brother of the Thunder Light tribe had sealed the surrounding space. What awaited them next might be death. How can an eldest senior brother of the Thunder Light tribe possess such terrifying strength? This doesn't make sense. Upon hearing Wang Xian's orders and seeing the purple thunder snake starting its massacre, the city lord of Clay City bellowed indignantly with bloodshot eyes. The other party was just the eldest senior brother of the Thunder Light tribe. Although the eldest senior brother had a higher status, he was still a disciple. Under normal circumstances, the strength of the eldest senior brother was no match for the elders. However, the strength displayed by the eldest senior brother of the Thunder Light tribe was even stronger than the strongest expert of the Thunder Light tribe. Was he really the eldest senior brother? Were they sure he wasn't the Laozu of the Thunder Light tribe? If they had known that the other party possessed such terrifying strength, they wouldn't have dared to attack. How is this possible? The young city lord of Clay City was also on the verge of breaking down. His face was filled with despair. Hee, it's your end. Wang Xian sneered. He exerted force with his dragon claws and a destructive force entered the body of the Clay City lord. Arg! The sound of despair before death rang out. Wang Xian waved his dragon claws and kept the corpse before looking around. Don't kill me, don't kill me. Seeing his father dead, the young city lord of Clay City screamed in horror. Ants! Wang Xian waved his arm and a wave of energy drowned them. SSSSSSSS. Arg! At this time, the purple thunder snake began its massacre in the surroundings. The million-strong army of Clay City was defenseless against the inborn spiritual treasure of the purple thunder snake. The million-strong army couldn't even hold out for a minute under its rampage and attacks. Since you dare to go against the Thunder Light tribe, there's no need for you to exist anymore. Wang Xian made a move and flew to the sky above. The 5 elements grindstone expanded rapidly and became a horrifying behemoth. Along with the deadly destructive force of the 5 elements, it charged downwards. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Waves of energy swept across and all the buildings collapsed rapidly. What's happening over there? Oh no, experts are invading Clay City. The city lord and the rest don't seem to be able to hold them off. Run! Rumble, rumble, rumble. Horrified voices rang out from within Clay City. When the residents saw the situation, they fled in panic. The city lord has been killed. Clay City is going to be annihilated. Some experts in the distance sensed the situation. Their bodies trembled and they fled quickly. Chapter 34:01. Flee, flee, flee. The incomparably huge Clyde City quickly collapsed, and horrified screams resounded. The citizens of Clyde City still didn't understand what kind of disaster had befallen their city. Who was it that destroyed Clyde City? At this time, they could only run for their lives. Wang Xian floated above the teleportation formation and looked at this scene coldly. There wasn't the slightest bit of emotion on him. If Clyde City wanted to exterminate the Thunder Light tribe, then they had to be prepared to be exterminated as well. In the face of war, there was no right or wrong, no mercy. Let's go. The entire Clyde City was ravaged by the 5 elements grindstone and the purple thunder snakes for a mere 5 minutes. Wang Xian remarked plainly as he landed on the ground. The teleportation formation in front of him was not destroyed, so he could still teleport. With a wave of his arm, he kept the 5 elements grindstone and the purple thunder serpent king. After which he placed some divine stones inside and stepped into the teleportation formation. His figure slowly disappeared, leaving behind only the ruins of Clyde City. Buzz. When Wang Xian appeared in front of the teleportation formation on the mountain peak where the disciples of the Thunder Light tribe lived, he felt a strong pressure. Wang Xian's expression changed slightly as he looked around. "It's me," he immediately said. "Eldest senior brother. It's eldest senior brother." In the surrounding area, some disciples shouted. There was also an elder deacon beside him. "Wang Xian, come over quickly." In front, an elder waved at Wang Xian. Ever since Wang Xian killed the great senior brother of the Great Thunderclap Academy with a single strike, the group of elders from the Thunder Light tribe had already treated him as an expert of the same level. "Yes, elder. What's the situation now?" Wang Xian asked as he flew over and scanned the surroundings. "This is a huge crisis for the Lightning tribe." The elder's expression was slightly solemn, and he looked embarrassed. Wang Xian was taken aback. "Elder, how many forces are surrounding us?" "According to the information we've received, the Great Thunderclap Academy, Divine Thunder City, Purple City, Clyde City and Luyan City want to attack us. Currently, the main army of the Thunder Light tribe is engaged in a small-scale battle with them. Among the 5 factions, there are about 18 peak universe supremacies, more than double our number," the elder said with a sullen face. "Elder, why did we start a conflict with them?" Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he asked curiously. There had to be a reason why the 5 great factions had suddenly besieged the Lightning race. "It's because of a treasure, a first-order sovereign realm god tree that can bear lightning fruits. This tree was originally ours, but Supreme Second Elder was ambushed and died. For peak sovereigns ambushed him, catching him off guard. Now that the first-order sovereign realm god tree has fallen into the hands of the Great Lightning Academy, they've formed an alliance to retaliate. These 5 damned fellows. They must have planned this beforehand. Otherwise, it would be impossible for them to act so quickly." The elder roared furiously. Upon hearing the elder, Wang Xian frowned slightly. A universe dominator level god tree. A treasure of this level was indeed worthy of a force like the Thunder Light race fighting for. However, the other party had long since planned this. A large race and 4 great cities had joined hands. No, it could be said that there were only 3 cities left. Even so, the Thunder Light race wasn't a match for them. With more than double the number of peak experts, it would be difficult for the Thunder Light race to resist if the other party attacked at full force. However, they had no choice but to resist. Once they gave up, they could only hole up in their blessed grotto heavens. However, doing so was their last resort. As long as they retreated into their blessed grotto heavens, the Thunder Light race would be completely surrounded. At that time, they might even be sealed by the other party's array formation. It wasn't as if such a thing had never happened before in the desolate continent. Back then the Iron Union, the Wrapped Corpse tribe, and the Lich Kingdom had wanted to completely seal the Dragon Palace. Therefore, as long as there was a glimmer of hope, the Thunder Light race wouldn't give up. Not good. The Great Lightning Academy and the other forces are preparing to gather. A war is about to break out. The Patriarch has ordered us to rush over immediately. At this moment, the elder beside him said anxiously. "Close all the external teleportation arrays. All disciples, follow me to the battlefield." He immediately ordered loudly. "Yes, elder." The group of disciples responded immediately. They clenched their fists tightly, and were filled with murderous intent. The closure of the teleportation arrays meant that the Thunder Light race had cut off all contact with the outside world. Wang Xian followed behind the elder, and immediately flew towards the battlefield ahead. The current battlefield was also a place that the Great Lightning Academy and Divine Thunder City had forced to retreat to. This was the territory of the Thunder Light race. There was also a blessed grotto heavens of the Thunder Light race beside it. The blessed grotto heavens was called the Lightning Grotto Heavens. This blessed grotto heavens was beneficial for cultivation, but it couldn't help them fend off their opponents. The Thunder Light Race could use teleportation arrays. Through the teleportation arrays, they quickly arrived at the Lightning Grotto heavens. All disciples who have arrived, get into formation immediately and prepare for battle. Wang Xian and the rest had just arrived when they heard the command from the front. A murderous atmosphere filled the surroundings. Almost all the experts and disciples of the Thunder Light Race had gathered in front. A total of 50 to 60 million disciples were arranged in a military formation, staring coldly at the front. At the front, the Thunder Light Race Patriarch and all the Supreme Elders had arrived. After the fall of the second Supreme Elder, the Thunder Light Race only had 7 pinnacle Venerable Realm experts in the universe. All of them had arrived. Let's head over. Wang Xian, come with me, the elder beside Wang Xian said to him. Both of them immediately flew towards the central tribe patriarch. Tribe leader, Supreme Elder. Tribe leader, Supreme Elder. After Wang Xian and the rest arrived, they immediately greeted the tribe leader and the rest. Hehe, we are glad that Wang Xian could come. The tribe leader of the Thunder Light Race was gratified to see Wang Xian. They also knew that Wang Xian had gone out not long ago. However, he could still rush over after hearing that the war had broken out. This also meant that he had treated the Thunder Light Race as one of them. Otherwise, who would be willing to take the risk to participate in a war of this level? I'm now a disciple of the Thunder Light Race. Tribe leader and elders have treated me well. Naturally, I won't back down at the last minute. Wang Xian smiled at the tribe leader and said, Haha, great. The tribe leader of the Thunder Light Race laughed heartily. The 6 Supreme Elders beside him also nodded their heads in satisfaction. When the war breaks out, you have to protect your own life. If we lose, we still have to rely on you to turn the tables. Therefore, you can't die. The leader of the Thunderlight tribe and the rest exchanged glances before their gazes landed on Wang Xian, and spoke with a solemn tone. Chapter 3402. The war had already broken out. The Thunderlight tribe leader and the others were very familiar with the current situation. They had no choice but to fight this battle. However, there was only a 30% chance that they could resist this battle. If they failed, the Thunderlight Race would not be exterminated, but they would have to retreat into the blessed heavenly abode. If they wanted to make a comeback, they would need the combat power of a universe ruler. If it was in the past, they might not have a backup plan, but now they had a chance. Wang Xian. In their opinion, Wang Xian's strength was equivalent to a level 9 universe supremacy. With such potential at such a young age, coupled with his identity as a purebred divine dragon, Wang Xian's strength was comparable to a level 9 universe supremacy. In the future, there was a 90% chance that he would possess the combat strength of a universe ruler. Therefore, anyone could die in this battle except for Wang Xian, because this was their hope. Upon hearing the words of the Thunder Ray tribe leader and the rest, Wang Xian was taken aback. Subsequently, he revealed a faint smile. Don't worry, Patriarch. We will definitely win this battle, he said with a smile. Haha, that's for sure. Wang Xian, go to the group of disciples. Don't stay in the center. Remember, retreat immediately if you encounter any danger. Others can't retreat, but you must. The Thunderlight tribe patriarch laughed heartily as he instructed. Wang Xian smiled, nodded his head, and flew to the side. Here, the Thunder Ray tribe was divided into 5 legions. In the center was the tribe leader and a group of powerhouses. There were already 3 battle legions, as well as the disciples of the Thunderlight race who had yet to join the army. According to the rules of the Lightning race, anyone below 500 epochs was a disciple of the Lightning race. After this age, they would have to join the various departments of the Lightning race. There was the army, as well as some other law enforcement departments. This battle was also a battle between pinnacle experts, an army against an army, and a disciple against a disciple. This was basically a tacit agreement. At that time, the opponents of the Thunderlight tribe disciples would also be the disciples of the Great Lane Academy. Eldest senior brother. Eldest senior brother, you're here. The disciples of the Thunderlight race greeted Wang Xian respectfully when they saw him. Wang Xian looked across them and revealed a faint smile. It didn't matter where he was in the upcoming battle. If he was on the side of the disciples, he would be able to catch them off guard. Eldest senior brother, you have to be careful later. The patriarch and the elders want you to be safe. Lei Yuntian walked over and asked Wang Xian. Don't worry. Later on, I will show you all my strength. As Wang Xian spoke, his lips curved into a smile. Eldest senior brother, don't be rash. Fourth senior sister Lei Yunzi and the other girls reminded him. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. Boom boom boom. At this moment, a rumbling sound came from the front. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes. In front of them, waves of vast and terrifying energy rushed over. At the front of the group were two gigantic thunder lions. There were over 100 kilometers of them galloping within the thunderclouds. Their might was abnormally terrifying. This was a peak universe supremacy level thunder lion. It was also the guardian divine beast of the Great Thunderclap Academy. Above the thunder lion stood a dozen silhouettes. These dozen silhouettes included the pinnacle experts of the Great Thunder Academy, as well as the pinnacle experts of God Thunder City, Purple City and Luyan City. A total of 15 figures looked over coldly. They roared in unison, and the armies of the four great forces behind them exuded an incomparably sharp killing intent. Their eyes were filled with excitement and malevolence. There were all kinds of battle pets and huge war machines. In particular, there was a gigantic bell over at the Great Thunderclap Academy. The bell was densely covered in purple thunderbolts. The explosive might was definitely that of a connate spiritual treasure. The entire bell spanned over 10,000 kilometers. It was extremely terrifying. Below the army of the Divine Thunder City was a flying city. The entire city was flowing with the power of thunderbolts and was connected to the experts of the Divine Thunder City. The vast might made all the experts and disciples of the Thunder Light Race extremely solemn. Thunder Light Race, get out of the thunderclouds and we can spare your lives. On the Thunder Lion, a bald old man with a lightning staff in his hand suddenly spoke to the Thunder Light Race coldly. He had 9 purple spots of light on his head that shot into the sky. Old bald donkeys of the Great Thunderclap Academy, don't even think about it. You don't have the capability to make us get out. The leader of the Thunder Light Race bellowed coldly. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He and the 6 Supreme Elders dashed into the sky with radiance radiating from their bodies. How dare you sneak attack the 2nd Supreme Elder of the Thunder Light Race? I will make you pay a terrible price. Divine Thunder City, Purple City, Luyan City, just wait for the endless revenge of the Thunder Light Race. The leader of the Thunder Light Race bellowed with murderous intent. Haha. Thunder Light Race, don't be so arrogant. Since we dared to make a move, we aren't afraid of you. Furthermore, you can talk again if you can survive this ordeal. How arrogant and ignorant. The city lord of the Divine Thunder City said coldly. Good. All disciples of the Thunder Light Race will remember this day. We will definitely annihilate them in the future. The leader of the Thunder Light Race bellowed. We will definitely annihilate the enemy. We will definitely annihilate the enemy. All the experts and disciples of the Thunder Light Race bellowed furiously. Attack and annihilate the Thunder Light Race. The dean of the Great Thunderclap Academy raised his lightning staff. He lifted it up directly. Thunder rumbled in the sky as the bugle call signaled the start of a battle. While the Thunder Light Race and the Great Thunderclap Academy were fighting, the Thundercloud Domain and the surrounding forces were also paying attention to the situation. It was especially so for the other dozen cities in the Thundercloud Domain. The sudden outbreak of war and the alliance of the Great Thunderclap Academy had shocked the other cities. Their attention was focused on the battle, and they were waiting for the outcome. As for the annihilation of Clyde City, the time was too short and most of the forces had yet to receive the news. Only the Great Thunderclap Academy and the Divine Thunder City knew about the situation in Clyde City. However, they didn't take it to heart. The absence of Clyde City didn't matter. Kill. Following the order of the Dean of the Great Thunderclap Academy, the army disciples of the 4 major forces roared. The 2 Thunder Lions leaped into the air and locked their gazes on the leader of the Thunder Light Race and the rest. The Dean of the Great Thunderclap Academy and the rest smiled eerily as they followed in the sky. 17 against 7. With a difference of more than 2 times, they were 100% confident. Fight! Kill the enemy! The Thunderlight Tribe patriarch gritted his teeth and a thunder axe appeared in front of him. The axe contained a powerful aura. He gripped it tightly and roared out through gritted teeth. Kill the enemy! At this moment, all the experts and disciples of the Thunderlight race stared at the invading enemies and roared. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes as he stared in front of him, and slowly stretched his body. He laughed wantonly. Chapter 3403. Kill all the disciples of the Thunderlight Tribe. Kill them! As the disciples of the Thunderlight Tribe bellowed, the experts, disciples, and troops from the Great Lane Academy and the 3 major cities bellowed ferociously. They were brimming with murderous intent and confidence. They were 100% confident in this battle. In terms of experts, disciples, and troops, they had the upper hand. Follow me to kill the disciples of the Thunderlight Tribe. Eldest senior brother Fadu, who was standing in front of the disciples of the Great Lane Academy, stared ahead. Generals against generals, kings against kings, and disciples against disciples. Brother Fadu, the eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight Tribe, is very strong. I'll get my war pet to help you hold them back. Haha. The current young city lord of the Divine Thunder City laughed heartily and said, All right. Eldest senior brother Fadu's expression changed slightly when he heard this name. He nodded heavily. It was a great humiliation for him to be killed by Wang Xian in an instant previously. However, Wang Xian's strength wasn't something he could handle. You'd better help me kill him. I'll go and kill the other disciples of the Thunderlight Tribe. Eldest senior brother Fadu bellowed at the young city lord with a bloodthirsty look in his eyes. It might be a little difficult to kill him, but I'm 80% confident. The young city lord of the Divine Thunder City smirked. The young city lord of the Divine Thunder City wasn't young anymore. He was the most outstanding and valued son of the city lord of the Divine Thunder City. Currently, he had the strength of a rank 9 universe venerable, and his war pet had the combat strength of a rank 9 universe venerable. He was fully confident that he could defeat the eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight Tribe. In fact, if he used his trump card, he might even be able to kill him. Ha ha ha, alright. Kill, kill, kill. Rumble. The eldest senior brother of the Great Lane Academy bellowed as he flew forward. He raised his thunder staff and struck forward bolts of lightning. The disciples of the Thunderlight Tribe were right in front of him. The 2 parties were approaching each other, and the battle had already begun. Kill them. Lei Yuntian stared ahead with bloodthirsty eyes as he roared at the disciples. Wang Xian squinted his eyes, and the unbeginning sacred wings appeared behind him. Violent aura gushed out from his body. Ha ha ha, let me challenge the eldest senior brother of the Thunder Ray Tribe, and avenge brother Fadu. The young city lord of Divine Thunder City stared at Wang Xian, and burst into laughter. He was riding a single-horned thunder beast. The thunder beast was tens of thousands of meters long, and its body was covered with thick dragon scales. He locked his eyes on Wang Xian and laughed maniacally. Brother, be careful. That's the young master of the Thunder City. He's at the 9th rank of the Venerable Realm, and has a 9th rank battle pet. The group of disciples behind immediately reminded Wang Xian. I'll go kill him first, said Wang Xian with a faint smile. Crackle. Boom. As Wang Xian finished his sentence, he flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and disappeared instantly. At this moment, both sides were about 1 billion kilometers apart. This distance was already within the range of attack from both sides. Similarly, Wang Xian only needed a split second to cover this distance. When his figure disappeared, the disciples of the Thunder Light Tribe behind him were slightly shocked. In front of him, the young city lord of Divine Thunder City, who had his eyes locked onto Wang Xian, also narrowed his eyes as he scanned the surroundings in shock. Challenge me? You don't have the qualifications. Die. In the next moment, Wang Xian had already appeared in front of the young city lord of Divine Thunder City, and was standing on the single-horned thunder beast. He looked at the young city lord of Divine Thunder City with a smile. His arm turned into a dragon claw and reached out. Boom. No. At this moment, The young city lord of Divine Thunder City was completely dumbfounded. He stared at Wang Xian in disbelief and horror, and his body was trembling violently. How did the big senior brother of the Thunder Light tribe appear in front of him in an instant? How could he exude such terrifying strength? This strength? Peak Universe Venerable Realm? How could this be possible? However, after he let out a fearful roar, Wang Xian's dragon claw had already gripped his body. Bam! As Wang Xian stepped on the single-horned thunder beast with his right foot, a terrifying destructive force wreaked havoc in its body. With a claw and a kick, the young city lord of Divine Thunder City and his battle pet died instantly. Swish! In the next moment, he appeared in front of the big senior brother of the Great Lane Academy. A terrifying aura locked him in the void, rendering him immobile. For pairs of eyes met. The big senior brother of the Great Lane Academy, Fadu, was dumbfounded. His expression changed instantly and his eyes widened. You, he opened his mouth and was dumbfounded. At this moment, Wang Xian stood in front of all the disciples of the Great Lane Academy, Divine Thunder City, Purple City, and Luyan City. It was as though one man could hold the pass against 10,000 enemies. All of you can go to hell now. Wang Xian stood there and spoke with a beaming face. Roar! In the next moment, divine dragons flew out from his body one after another. There was a total of 9 divine dragons' shadows. The aura of the 9 divine dragons shrouded all the disciples of the Great Lane Academy in front of them. The demonic might of the divine dragon surged forward and crushed everything in front of him. No. How can this be? The aura of a peak universe Venerable Realm expert. He's a peak universe Venerable Realm expert. No, Dean Laozu, save us. City Lord, save us. When the 9 divine dragons charged towards them, all the disciples of the Great Lane Academy screamed in despair. They were just a group of disciples and were not as strong as the army of their respective forces. But now they were facing the attack of a peak universe expert. How could they resist? What made them even more terrified was that the eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight race was so terrifying. Damn it! You Thunderlight race deserve to die. How dare you hide a peak universe expert? I'll make you pay 100 times the price. In the middle of the battlefield where the peak universe experts were, the battle had already erupted. The Thunderlight race was instantly suppressed. The city lord of the Divine Thunder City sensed the situation and roared ferociously when he realized that his son's aura had completely vanished. The Thunderlight race actually had a peak universe Venerable Realm expert hidden. Moreover, it was the eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight race. This had completely caught them off guard. How can this be? The dean of the Great Lane Academy and the other peak universe venerables were shocked. When the battle erupted, they had already used powerful treasures to investigate. This was to prevent the Thunderlight race from hiding their strength and launching a sneak attack. They could guarantee that their detection methods would be flawless and all the experts would be able to detect them. But they did not expect a peak universe Venerable Realm expert to appear. And it was the eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight race. Chapter 3404 Shock. Shock. At this moment, everyone's faces were filled with astonishment. Even the leader of the Thunderlight tribe, and the rest widened their eyes when they sensed the situation. Holy crap! What's going on? The eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight tribe had unleashed the strength of a pinnacle universe venerable. What else could they say? This was simply too heaven-defying. We've picked up a treasure. This was what the leader of the Thunderlight tribe and the rest were thinking. This was too fucking awesome. A pinnacle universe venerable. Even if they had to pay the price of a treasure like the Fire Spirit Pearl, it was worth it on the battlefield. Holy crap, that's our eldest senior brother? This is too strong. Pinnacle universe venerable. Our eldest senior brother is a pinnacle universe venerable. The group of disciples from the Thunder Ray tribe was shocked when they saw the scene from the back. He had killed the young city lord of the Divine Thunder City and his battle pet in an instant. Now he was facing all the disciples of the Great Lane Academy alone. The horrifying attacks of the divine dragons had already engulfed them. With this move, the disciples of the Great Lane Academy would be severely injured or killed. Arg. At the same time, screams were heard. The first to bear the brunt of the attack was the eldest senior brother of the Great Lane Academy, Fadu. Just the aftershock of the 9 divine dragon phantoms was enough to cause his life force to disappear in an instant. The 9 divine dragons were like divine dragons that could destroy the world as they engulfed the disciples of the Great Lane Academy. In an instant, more than half of the disciples were killed. "I'll kill you. Kill him." The city lord of the Divine Thunder City sensed that his outstanding son had been killed. His eyes were bloodshot as he abandoned the supreme elder of the Thunderlight tribe and charged towards Wuxia. A model of a city was floating above his head. The entire city contained a majestic aura. Within the city, there were more than 20 acquired treasures floating in the air, and every single one of them was of the lightning attribute. This was a very special weapon. Although it wasn't an innate spiritual treasure, it was still exceptionally terrifying. The city lord of the Divine Thunder City flew towards Wuxia with an invincible aura. His eyes were filled with violent killing intent. With such powerful treasures, he was confident that he could defeat this mysterious eldest senior brother of the Thunderlight tribe. Although the other party was strong, he was still very young. "Eldest senior brother, be careful. The Divine Thunder City Lord is very strong. Wuxia, be careful." The group of disciples and the Thunderlight tribe patriarch reminded loudly. However, the Thunderlight tribe patriarch and the rest could only watch on. They were completely entangled and could not provide support. "How dare you kill a disciple of the Great Lane Academy? I'll kill you." The instant the Divine Thunder City Lord made his move, a peak universe supremacy from the Great Thunder Academy also made his move. Similarly, they charged towards Wuxia. The 2 peak venerable powerhouses of the universe attacked. Hehe. Wuxia looked over and squinted his eyes. The 5 elements grindstone appeared above his head. Whoosh. He moved and headed straight for the city lord of the Divine Thunder City, courting death. The eyes of the city lord of the Divine Thunder City were filled with sharpness. The various lightning treasures on the castle above his head released energy and blasted towards him. Crash! Wuxia flapped his unparalleled sacred wings and dodged the lightning attacks rapidly. So fast! Seeing Wuxia's speed, the city lord of the Divine Thunder City was shocked and his pupils constricted. Die! In an instant, Wuxia came to the right side of the city lord of the Divine Thunder City. His arm turned into a dragon claw and smashed towards him, courting death. The castle above the city lord of the Divine Thunder City glowed. Rays of acquired treasures flew out and covered Wuxia completely. Wang. The 5 elements grindstone above Wuxia's head trembled. Similarly, various weapons were formed on the grindstone and charged towards the city lord of the Divine Thunder City. Wuxia did not retreat. Instead, he advanced and continued charging forward. "Hold him back. Let's kill this guy." At this moment, an expert from the Great Lane Academy also charged over. He locked his gaze on Wuxia and shouted at the city lord of the Divine Thunder City. "All right." The city lord of the Divine Thunder City shouted. He focused his gaze and 2 rays of lightning shot out from his eyes. Hehe. Wuxia chuckled. Without slowing down, he waved his arm and a huge object appeared below him. A roar reverberated as the purple lightning snake floated in the void. He fixed his gaze on the expert from the Great Lane Academy. The thunder horn on his head released a purple light pillar and charged towards him. Rumble. A purple light pillar pierced through the entire void. Damn it. How is this possible? The expert from the Great Lane Academy sensed a terrifying aura the moment the purple lightning snake appeared. He stared at the purple light pillar and shouted in disbelief. A purple lightning snake at the pinnacle of the universe venerable realm. More importantly, the thunder horn on the head of the purple lightning snake made his heart palpitate. In the face of the purple lightning snake's attack, he quickly dodged to the side. Without any hesitation, the purple lightning snake swayed its huge body and attacked. It was surrounded by dense thunderbolts that slowly converged at the thunder horn. What? The city lord of the Divine Thunder City was shocked when he saw the pinnacle of the universe venerable realm under Wuxia, and the expert from the Great Lane Academy being stopped. Rumble, rumble, rumble. At this moment, in front of him, the 5 elements grindstone collided with various treasures on the castle. The acquired treasures flew back to the castle one by one, and the lightning on them dimmed rapidly. The 5 elements grindstone's attack was still terrifying. How can this be? The city lord of the Divine Thunder City was shocked again as he stared in disbelief at the treasures that were completely crushed. Swoosh! All of a sudden, he sensed Wang Xian's figure disappearing in front of him. This made his heart clench as he felt the threat of death looming over him. Ift! A sharp piercing sound was heard. He lowered his head and stared at his chest in horror. No. The city lord of the Divine Thunder City was shocked. He shook his body and separated it from his body. He quickly dodged to the side. Buzz buzz buzz. The 5 elements grindstone in the sky released a wave of destructive energy that covered an area of hundreds of millions of kilometers like the River of Time. Arg. Within the River of Annihilation, the destructive force of the 5 elements surged into the city lord's body through his wound and dissolved his vitality. He roared with a hideous expression. Swoosh! Swoosh! That frightening explosion once again entered his ears, and panic and despair appeared in the eyes of the Divine Thunder City Lord. What a terrifying speed! What a powerful attack! How is this possible? He roared as he trembled and looked around with cold sweat all over his face. Chapter 3405, Bam Bam. With an explosion, Wang Xian appeared at the side of the city lord of Divine Thunder City. He extended his dragon claws and clawed at the city lord's upper body. Arg! The city lord of Divine Thunder City screamed in agony as his upper body was grabbed. At this moment his lower body, which was trying to escape, was locked down by the 5 elements grindstone. You think you can kill me with such strength? Hee hee, go down and accompany your son. Wang Xian stared at the city lord of Divine Thunder City with disdain. He waved his arm and a destructive force surged into the city lord's body. By the side, the 5 elements grindstone had also destroyed his lower body. The famous Thundercloud Domain's Divine Thunder City Lord had fallen. A pinnacle venerable of the universe had fallen. At this moment, the entire battlefield fell into an eerie silence. Everyone looked over in disbelief, and their faces were filled with shock. The city lord of Divine Thunder City was dead. He was killed by the senior brother of the Thunder Light race. He was the leader of the second strongest force in the Thundercloud domain. He wasn't an ordinary pinnacle venerable. Yet, he couldn't even last a minute against the senior brother of the Thunder Light race. Ow. How is this possible? He killed the city lord of Divine Thunder City, and he even has a powerful battle pet. City Lord! City Lord! The dean of the Great Lane Academy and the other pinnacle experts were shocked when they looked over. An expert who could kill the city lord of Divine Thunder City in an instant, and had a pinnacle venerable battle pet. This would bring them great trouble. It was especially so for the experts and disciples of the Divine Thunder City. They were embarrassed to see their city lord killed. That was their city lord. He's so strong. He's even stronger than me. The leader of the Thunder Light race looked over with excitement in his eyes. In a one-on-one situation, he could completely suppress the city lord of Divine Thunder City. However, it would be extremely difficult to kill him. Yet, Wang Xian could kill him. More importantly, he had a pinnacle venerable battle pet. What else could he say when the battle pet had a connate numinous treasure? He could only say that this was awesome. Ha ha ha, long live the senior brother. He's invincible. Eldest senior brother is invincible. Destroy these guys. All the disciples of the Thunder Light race cheered excitedly when they saw Wang Xian slaying the city lord of the Divine Thunder City. In an instant, the morale of the lightning race soared. Wang Xian smiled faintly and moved instantly. His target was the pinnacle venerable from the Great Lane Academy, who was fighting with the purple thunder snake. Damn it. DNFA, support me. When the expert saw Wang Xian charging towards him, he was horrified and immediately bellowed at the top of his lungs. Currently, he was completely suppressed by the purple lightning snake. Now that the fellow who killed the Divine Thunder City's city lord was rushing over, he simply did not have the strength to resist. They could even be easily killed. This is bad. Hurry up and help the third ancestor. The headmaster of the Great Lane Academy looked over, and his expression changed drastically as he hollered, "Kill, kill, kill." The Thunderlight tribe leader roared as he cleaved forward with the thunder axe in his hand. The might of a connate numinous treasure seemed to be able to split the heavens and earth. Several grand elders immediately burst out with their most violent attacks, preventing them from going to help. "Lightning race, you guys are courting death." The headmaster of the Great Lane Academy bellowed as his eyes revealed a violent murderous intent. Although the Thunderlight tribe leader and the rest tried their best to stop him, the Great Lane Academy had the numerical advantage. 2 pinnacle venerables immediately charged towards the experts of the Great Lane Academy to support them. 2? That's not enough. Wang Xian smiled when he saw the 2 pinnacle venerables charging towards him. With a wave of his arm, the 5 elements grindstone charged towards the 2 pinnacle venerables. Atop the 5 elements grindstone, 5 divine dragons stretched out their bodies, and beams of elemental energy attacked them. What? What kind of treasure is that? How can it unleash such a terrifying attack? The 2 pinnacle venerables who were charging over felt the attack of the 5 elements grindstone, and their expressions changed drastically. They could feel a threat from the 5 elements grindstone. The threat of death. This made them feel incredulous. This treasure wasn't controlled by anyone. How could it be so strong without anyone controlling it? Swoosh. The instant Wang Xian tossed out the 5 elements grindstone, he flapped his unbeginning saint wings and pushed his speed to the limit as he charged towards the expert who was fighting with the purple lightning snake. Wang Xian's speed reached the other side in an instant. A greenish-purple shadow streaked across and attacked him. "Headmaster, save me. Hurry and save me." That expert's heart skipped a beat when he saw Wang Xian's shadow. He wasn't a match for the purple lightning snake one-on-one. Now that Wang Xian had joined forces with his terrifying speed, he wouldn't be able to last more than a few seconds. If the reinforcements were a step slower, he would die here. Damn it, how is this possible? Headmaster, this treasure is too strong. It can completely restrain the 2 of us. Upon hearing the 3rd ancestor's fearful cry for help, the 2 pinnacle venerables who were supporting from the rear also yelled bitterly. They had actually been stopped by a weapon. Oh no. The headmaster of the Great Lane Academy looked over. His eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. They originally had 18 pinnacle venerables on their side. However, the City Lord of Clay City wasn't here for some reason, and the City Lord of Divine Thunder City was killed. There were 16 left. 1 was besieged by the purple lightning snake and Wang Xian, while the other 2 were restrained by the horrifying treasure. They still had 13 on their side. However, now that the experts from the Thunderlight race were frantically trying to stop them, they would need a few seconds to get away. Then, they would need at least 7 to 8 seconds to fly over to support them. I hope nothing happens. The headmaster of the Great Thunderclap Academy prayed in his heart. He stared at the 2 experts from the Divine Thunder City and said, "Go and support them. You must save the 3rd ancestor of the Great Thunderclap Academy. We'll hold them off here." He yelled loudly. All right. The 2 experts from the Divine Thunder City gritted their teeth and answered immediately. Now that they were on the same side, Wang Xian's appearance had completely disrupted their plans. Next, they mustn't have any pinnacle venerables perishing. Otherwise, they would be in deep trouble. Fight to the death. The headmaster of the Great Thunderclap Academy held his thunder staff in his hand. The 9 light spots above his head were emitting purple radiance. Dong dong dong. The incomparably huge inborn cardinal treasure, Thunder Bell, let out a deafening sound. The 2 experts from the Divine Thunder City escaped and headed towards the 3rd ancestor of the Great Thunderclap Academy to support them. 2 isn't enough. Wang Xian sensed the situation over there and didn't let out a cold snort. He locked his gaze on the pinnacle venerables in front of him and attacked them directly. Chapter 3406. Ah! The besieged expert from the Great Lane Academy revealed a hideous expression when he saw Wang Xian charging towards him. His entire body was incomparably berserk, and he began to fight with his life on the line, risking his life to buy himself 10 seconds of time. Risking your life? Wang Xian squinted his eyes and said, "I'll give it my all then. Purple Thunder Snake, fight." He immediately gave an order. "You want to risk your life?" He had battle pets. The battle pet and the Khanate numinous treasure would definitely kill the expert from the Great Lane Academy if they were to go all out. The purple lightning snakes would also be heavily injured. However, Wang Xian was still waiting for an opportunity to strike. It was uncertain if the purple thunder snake would be severely injured. Even if it was severely injured, Wang Xian had the vitality fluid to treat it. He fought with his life on the line, not panicking in the slightest. Upon hearing Wang Xian's order, the purple thunder snake hissed. Its eyes were filled with violent might. The thunder horn on its head shone brightly as it charged towards the three forefathers of the Great Lane Institute. This kind of battle was purely about risking their lives. Damn it! The third ancestor of the Great Lane Institute gritted his teeth and tried to dodge to the side when he saw the frenzied attack of the purple lightning snake. He didn't dare to fight. He knew he couldn't win. However, the moment he dodged, Wang Xian's attack arrived. In the face of Wang Xian's terrifying speed, the only thing the three ancestors of the Great Thunderclap Institute could do was to defend with all their might. However, if he tried to block it with all his might, the purple lightning serpent's lightning horn would strike him. This was an unsolvable confrontation. If he were to face Wang Xian alone, he would be able to hold on for a minute, if he was prepared to defend with all his might, let alone 10 seconds. But with the purple lightning snake, he had no way to block it. Because the purple lightning snake's attack was a desperate attack, if he didn't want to be heavily injured, he had to escape. So this was an attack that could not be avoided. Block it for me." The third ancestor of the Great Lane Institute gritted his teeth and roared with all his might, setting up layers of powerful defense in front of him. Boom. At this moment, the purple thunder serpent landed on his defense. The powerful attack of the Khanate numinous treasure broke through the defense of the third ancestor of the Great Lane Institute. Moreover, relying on the advantage of the Khanate spiritual treasure, he continued to attack downwards. "You're courting death." The third ancestor of the Great Lane Institute shuddered at the sight. He gritted his teeth and struck at the head of the purple lightning snake. Boom. Due to the close distance and the fact that the purple lightning snake's attack was completely unguarded, the purple lightning snake's head was instantly struck. Wang Xian smirked when he saw the third ancestor of the Great Thunderclap Institute retaliating in a frenzy. At this time, he had no better choice. Crash! Pooh! Wang Xian's dragon claw arrived before the third ancestor of the Great Thunderclap Institute and penetrated his body. Cough, 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 cough. The third ancestor of the Great Thunderclap Academy turned his head stiffly to look at Wang Xian. His face was filled with embarrassment and despair. Die. As Wang Xian spoke plainly, a surge of terrifying energy surged into his body from the dragon claw. The life force of the Great Lane Institute's third forefather was quickly extinguished. Everything happened in 4 seconds. No third brother. The life force of the third ancestor of the Great Lane Academy disappeared. When the experts of the Great Lane Academy saw this, their bodies trembled violently as they screamed. Another pinnacle supremacy of the universe had fallen. This was the second pinnacle supremacy of the universe to die in the hands of Wang Xian. They didn't even manage to send reinforcements in time. Oh no! The two experts from the Divine Thunder City, who were flying over, narrowed their eyes as they witnessed this scene. A pinnacle supremacy of the universe couldn't even last for 10 seconds. The strength of the other party was simply too terrifying. The two of us aren't a match for the other party. Please send reinforcements. The two reinforcements from the Divine Thunder City bellowed. The other party could kill a pinnacle supremacy of the universe in an instant. In that case, the two of them wouldn't be a match for the man and snake. Please send reinforcements. Another pinnacle supremacy of the universe has been killed by Wang Xian. The leader of the Thunder Light tribe and the rest were thrilled. They had a new understanding of Wang Xian's strength. Ha ha ha, another one has been killed. Big Senior Brother has killed another one. Big Senior Brother is invincible. Cheers continued to resound from the back. All the disciples of the Thunder Light tribe were extremely excited. At this point, the group of experts from the Great Lane Institute and the Divine Thunder City looked exceptionally grim. The battle had just begun and they had already lost 2 pinnacle experts. This was a huge blow to them. Fight! Wang Xian bellowed. With a wave of his arm, a large amount of vitality fluid landed on the head of the purple lightning snake. His figure flickered as he charged towards the 2 pinnacle supremacies of the Divine Thunder City. Scram! 3 more of you go and stop that guy. The dean of the Great Lane Institute shouted to the surrounding experts. His eyes were bloodshot as he went berserk. At this point they had to go all out. They had never expected the battle to start in such a manner. A big senior brother from the Thunder Light tribe had actually forced them to this extent. Kill. 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 The dean of the Great Lane Institute, and the rest of the experts, who were originally prepared to suppress the Thunder Light tribe bit by bit, had no choice but to unleash their full strength. Among the 11 pinnacle supremacies of the universe, another 3 immediately attacked Wang Xian's purple thunder snake. Under such circumstances, there were only 8 experts fighting against 7 experts from the Thunder Light tribe. This greatly reduced the pressure on the leader of the Thunder Light tribe and the rest. Purple lightning snake kill. Wang Xian commanded the purple lightning snake. With a swift move, he charged towards the group of pinnacle supremacies. With the help of the 5 elements grindstone, he alone could hold back 6 pinnacle supremacies. The purple lightning snake could also fight against 2 pinnacle supremacies. Together, they were fearless against 7 pinnacle supremacies. You must be tired of living. Surround him and kill him. The group of experts from the Great Lane Institute and the Divine Thunder City were not afraid at all. They were filled with murderous intent as they roared. You guys aren't qualified enough. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with disdain as he shook his body. Dragon transformation. Roar. Roar. A dragon roar reverberated in the void as Wang Xian swayed his massive dragon body and stared coldly at the 7 pinnacle supremacies. The 5 elements grindstone spun and surges of energy filled the surroundings. The purple lightning snake came to Wang Xian's side and locked its cold gaze on the enemy. Wang Xian was fighting 1 against 7. After all, weapons and war pets were considered his own strength. Sensing the might of Wang Xian and the rest, the group of pinnacle supremacies from the Great Lane Institute and the Divine Thunder City froze. They felt that they had met their match this time. The strength of the other party was too terrifying. Chapter 3407. Wang Xian swayed his huge body with the purple lightning snake by his side, and the 5 elements grindstone hovering above his head. He moved and charged towards the group of experts from the Great Thunderclap Academy and Divine Thunder City. Kill him. I don't believe he can fight against the 7 of us. An expert from the Great Thunderclap Academy gritted his teeth as he sensed the aura of Wang Xian and the rest. They didn't believe that the grand senior brother from the Thunder Light tribe could fight against the 7 of them alone. Kill. The 7 pinnacle supremacies of the universe roared and charged towards Wang Xian. Be careful, grand senior brother. Be careful, grand senior brother. The group of disciples from the Thunder Light tribe reminded Wang Xian loudly when they saw the 7 pinnacle supremacies besieging Wang Xian. Roar roar. Wang Xian let out a deep roar. The 5 elements grindstone above his head glowed brightly and beams of energy rushed towards them. The purple lightning snake lifted its head and charged forward. Wang Xian swayed his huge body and moved. He flapped his unbeginning saint wings and displayed a terrifying speed. Swoosh. The moment they surrounded him, Wang Xian had already arrived behind them with his terrifying speed. Soaring cloud mist. Wang Xian let out a deep roar. The surrounding clouds began to gather and covered a radius of more than 1 billion kilometers in an instant. All of them were shrouded in it. As they were surrounded by thunderclouds, the ability of the soaring cloud mist was even more terrifying. Within this space, everyone's vision was enhanced. Be careful. Expel these clouds. An expert from the Divine Thunder City shouted. Boom. At this moment, a terrifying dragon tail swept across. Be careful. The surrounding experts roared. The face of the expert who was attacked changed slightly, and he hurriedly tried to defend himself. Bam. Uft. However, he was caught off guard and was sent flying by the powerful force. He spat out fresh blood. He's very fast. He must have an inborn spiritual treasure with him. Let's stick together. The expert who was sent flying immediately roared loudly with an ugly expression on his face. They had never imagined that they would be in a passive position when fighting against 7 alone. At this time, the purple thunder snake also rushed over, lightning raging on its body. The Khanate spiritual treasure released a powerful lightning pillar that swept towards the experts. The 5 elements grindstone revolved and charged over as well. Block this powerful weapon, and that lightning snake. Their expressions changed once again when they sensed the might contained within the 5 elements grindstone. Based on their senses, this 5 elements grindstone was even more terrifying than the strange eldest senior brother of the lightning race. The most terrifying thing about the Thunderlight race's eldest senior brother was his speed. The most terrifying aspect of the 5 elements grindstone lay in its attacks. All sorts of elemental weapon attacks overwhelmed them, especially for those 2 peak universe supremacies. They had already witnessed the power of the 5 elements grindstone. Its frightening attack wasn't something that 2 pinnacle supremacies could resist. 4 experts faced off against the 5 elements grindstone and the purple lightning snake, while the remaining 3 pinnacle supremacies of the universe dealt with Wuxia. Trap him. The 3 experts who were fighting against Wuxia let out a furious roar. They stood in a triangle with their backs facing each other and stared at the surrounding void. Restraining thunderbolts and chains were held in their hands as they awaited Wuxia's attack with a cold expression. Hee hee. Wuxia chuckled. He didn't attack the 3 of them. Instead, he flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and launched a sneak attack on the flying purple lightning snake. Damn it, hold him back. The old man who had just collided with the purple lightning snake was pushed back. He sensed a terrifying force charging towards him and immediately shouted, "Damn it, his speed is comparable to a pinnacle universe Lord expert. It's impossible for us to stop him." The 3 experts who were huddled together were shocked when they saw this. Wuxia's speed was very fast, and he could maintain the upper hand. He could deal with 3 alone. Similarly, the 5 elements grindstone could deal with 3 alone. As for the purple lightning snake, it could deal with 2 alone. But now the other party only had 7 pinnacle universe supremacies. Moreover, they didn't have any innate spiritual treasures in their hands. Under such circumstances, the other party wasn't a match for Wuxia and the rest. They would be suppressed by Wuxia and the rest. Perhaps it would be very difficult for Wuxia to kill them. But if they were to fight for a day or 2, he could still find an opportunity to exhaust one of them. Once the balance was broken, the other party wouldn't be a match for him. Swish, swish, swish. Thunderbolt chains and ropes appeared behind him. Wuxia had no choice but to give up on attacking that expert. He flapped his unbeginning sacred wings and left instantly. Phew. Sensing that the danger had disappeared, the expert heaved a heavy sigh of relief. He stared at the purple lightning snake in front of him and shouted, "I'm not a match for this lightning snake. I'll be completely suppressed. Once the big senior brother of the Thunderlight race attacks me, I'll be in grave danger." Phew, how can this guy be so strong? Even the 7 pinnacle universe supremacies can't do anything to him. Upon hearing his words, the experts from the Divine Thunder City and the Great Lane Academy were extremely embarrassed. It was 7 against 1. Under such circumstances, they were in a passive position and completely led by the other party. This made them feel embarrassed and fearful at the same time. The strength of the other party was truly terrifying. Dean, the big senior brother of the Thunderlight race, is very strong. We can only barely restrain him. An expert from the Great Lane Academy bellowed in a low voice as he transmitted the information over to the Dean of the Great Lane Academy. What? When Wuxia and the rest were shrouded in clouds and mist, they couldn't sense the exact situation over here. However, for the experts from the Great Lane Academy, the Divine Thunder City and the Great Lane Academy, wouldn't it be a piece of cake to deal with the big senior brother of the Thunderlight race when it was 7 against 1? They had never expected such news to spread. 7 against 1, and they could only barely restrain him. This Was the big senior brother of the Thunder Light race really that strong? Could it be said that the strength of the big senior brother of the Thunder Light race alone was comparable to the combined strength of the Thunder Light race's patriarch and supreme elder? How can this be? How can he be so strong? The city lords of the Purple City and Luyan City were shocked when they received the news. The reason why they had joined in to deal with the Thunder Light race was because they were 100% confident. However, now that such an expert had appeared from the Thunder Light race, it was basically impossible for them to defeat them. In that case, they would become mortal enemies with the Thunder Light race from now on. Given the strength of the Purple City and Luyan City, there was no way they could withstand the revenge of the Thunder Light race. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.